But coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibia Cap on Russian gas. It will be Kevin's. We will also fill you in on developments in from over. First on Worldview today, European designed to limit consumers' energy bills. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen cap on Russian gas revenue cap for manned energy ministers from the bloc's 27 member states are expected to discuss the proposals on Friday towards Russia after the European Union proposed a price cap on Russian gas. Vladimir Putin has called Western sanctions against his country, Vladivostok, in southeastern Russia. Putin said the West had undermined the global economy he added that the coronavirus epidemic had been replaced by other challenges, including played by the Asia-Pacific region in world affairs, in contrast to a West in the US dollar, euro, and pound. Putin added that he told the 7th Eastern Economic Forum in Russia's far eastern city of Vladivostok that in an attempt to resist the treaties, the Russian leader also accused Western countries of trying to maintain a world order beneficial only to them. Meanwhile, Russia will be addressing the Eastern Economic Forum in the Pacific port city of Vladivostok. According to Putin, capping prices, as some Western countries are considering, would be an absolutely stupid decision. He said Russia will not supply gas, oil, coal. Still on the crisis, Ukraine's nuclear operator is poised to support the deployment of UN peacekeepers at the Russian-occupied Zaporizhia plant, a day after the UN atomic watchdog called for a security zone around the nuclear power plant, Europe's largest, was untenable. The agency, which sent a team to the site, called for a There has been repeated shelling around the site, sparking fears of a new facility, and called for Russian troops to leave. Away from that, Britain's new Prime Minister leads to Ukraine. Zelensky said on Twitter that he became defense and economic aid for Ukraine. Zelensky also said he invited Truss to Ukraine. In the meantime, Britain's new Prime Minister's questions. At the gathering, Truss rebuffed opposition calls for a new windfall tax, even as she refrained from explaining how she would fund a plan meant to help the Beatles leave it tomorrow. British news media reported that Truss planned to cap energy bills. The cost to taxpayers of that step could reach £100 billion. Earlier this morning, Truss had convened a diverse top team in British history ever. Kwasi Kwarteng as Chancellor of the Exchequer, James Cleverly as Foreign Secretary, and Suella Braverman as Interior. Energy bills set to rise by 80% next month. As called for funding from rich polluters to help them reduce emissions. Polluters also have a moral imperative to pay for the loss and damage impacts already being felt that countries cannot adapt to, such as Pakistan's devastating floods, that they are 6 out of every 7 people on the planet called for the establishment of a dedicated loss and damage facility that at-risk nations could instantly assess to help them recover, and damage dialogue was offered as an alternative ahead of COP27, which begins in November, that loss and damage finance be added to the official negotiating agenda. They said discussions around intensifying suffering of people facing climate and connected crisis. Now, we'll bring you more on this and more after the break. Do stay with us. starting to recede after last-ditch attempts to prevent it from bursting its banks. According to reports, Mancha Lake in Xin province Italy breached to protect surrounding areas, and more than 100,000 people have been displaced. Officials are racing against time to rescue and evacuate thousands of villagers who are still stranded. Our provincial minister Jam Shoro said the water was now starting to come down, adding that if the authorities did not make the bridges, several towns with big populations have displayed a rare papyrus note in ancient Hebrew dating back 2,700 years, recently brought back to Jerusalem after its chance discovery in the United States. The letter fragment, written in the Paleo-Hebrew used during the First Temple era, constitutes 4 lines beginning to Ishmael sent, with the rest of the words incomplete. Did not know exactly what was being sent and to where. Deputy Director of the authorities' Antiques Theft Prevention Unit, Eitan Klein, explained that in the Iron Age, Hebrews used clay fragments to scrawl short notes. Papyruses left in the dry climate of the Judean desert could have survived the ages, but there were only 2 other papyruses from the First Temple era known to researchers before. The surviving suspects' whereabouts remain unknown. The announcement of a possible sighting of Miles Sanderson in the James Smith Cree Nation area yesterday turned out to have been 18 injured, not including the suspects. The attack has rocked the otherwise peaceful Canadian region. The police have warned people to. Chinese President Xi Jinping has congratulated his Brazilian counterpart Jair Bolsonaro on Brazil's 200th anniversary of independence. In his message of peaceful development and played an important role in regional and international affairs, Xi noted that not long ago, Bolsonaro and he had attended the 14th BRICS. That thanks to the joint efforts of both sides, China-Brazil relations have in recent years developed steadily, with practical cooperation yielding fruitful. The first high-level European delegation since China conducted huge war drills to protest a visit to the island by U.S. House, its coast in China. Representative of French citizens living abroad, Senator Olivier Cadic, who was among the 5, Alvin Bragg, has returned $19 million worth of stolen art to Italy. The 58 pieces include a marble head of the goddess Athena dated 200 BC, worth an estimated $3 million. Bragg said the stolen artifacts were sold on to museums' country of origin. $66 million worth have been returned so far this year. The head of the DA's antiques trafficking unit promised there will be barred from building advanced technology facilities in China for 10 years. The Biden administration confirmed this in Newsman. It comes as business groups have pushed for more government support for production. Now in entertainment, representatives for ahead of the film's premiere in Venice. According to reports, social media was ablaze yesterday after a journalist suggested a video appeared to show Styles' speech was false, and the U.S. actor's Pines representative agreed, calling the story ridiculous. Still on entertainment, Gulf violates Islamic and societal values and principles. A special committee of the Gulf Cooperation Council original statement. The joint statement from the groups and Saudi General Commission for Audiovisual Media noted that Netflix was contacted to remove on Worldview today an Iranian film about a disabled father who looks after his paralyzed son will open Asia's biggest film festival 14 and feature 243 movies from 71 countries, including 89 that will have their world premiere. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the full distancing measures, Festival Director Ho Mon-yong told reporters that next month, the annual event in the South Korean. That we wrap up our package for you on Worldview today. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube Hills of Ibiakuran. And you have been watching Worldview on Spectrum TV. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.